praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, well. And as always, we give peace and salutations unto the elect. And I wanted to briefly get into this video. As you can see the title, this is off of H.O.D.C 12, or H.O.D.C camp. All right. Elder Karatazala, all right, how to determine the Hebrew Israelite New Year and Passover. All right, and this is sort of a lesson getting on, the particular camps that are within Mashar Yashala and how they keep, their Passover, how they keep their Sabbaths. Because if you remember a few weeks back, there was a situation with a particular camp who's under, the Mashra Yashala, the Sakari. And when Elder Barak did a video, you saw that he was frustrated, that the particular camps who are under him keep their Passover and holy days on different days. All right, so this video was sent out about a week ago, and I listened to some of it, and come to find out what these men are teaching is that there's no way to understand, when to keep the Passover, without the book of Enoch, going into the zodiac and all of these various different things. All right, now we know when you get the book of Revelation, the 22nd chapter, it goes into the 12 months and the 12 manner of fruit and all of that. And we understand that, the zodiac, is used for wicked here, but, once we get to the kingdom of heaven, we'll gain the full understanding of that in righteousness. But he's going all into it based upon what's written in the book of Enoch and making the argument that the only way, to figure out, how to have a new year and a Passover, is by going into the book of Enoch, which is off, man. The Torah, gives us the understanding of how to track our months, and how to track our Passover, It's very well documented in the Torah, and that's what the scriptures talk about making of many books. Right now, the book of Enoch, I did a little research, and I came up with a few things that I found in the research. As a matter of fact, let me see here. Let's see here. The book of Enoch, it mentions Mount Sinai and Mount Hermon, which are things that, weren't, in existence until after Enoch. Enoch was before the flood. You see, now when you go into the book of Enoch, it mentions particular points in history that are accurate, but it was not written. You can't attribute these writings to Enoch. There's a lot of bugged out things in the book of Enoch as well, 5,000 feet tall men, 450 feet tall men. No. In the calendar that he received, from what they say was the angel Uriel, it was not based upon the new moon observation. So you're in rebellion, man. And you all are teaching a bugged out doctrine amongst other things, man. And we'll let him speak for himself. But the book of Enoch and the book of Watchers, has material from Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter. The book of Numbers, it talks about Balaam. It talks about some of the things that happened at the time of Daniel, Jeremiah. First Enoch, the 56th chapter mentions the Parthians and the Medes, which were nations that weren't even created at the time of Enoch. So you can't attribute these writings to Enoch, though we know there is a book of Enoch. There's many faith. Okay. Now, do we use things that are secular history to validate certain things, or to build our faith, or to say, hey, it's dope to go into secular history and things, but we can't attribute, all right, particular things to particular men as what they wrote it. That's where you're going off, man. Okay, and the book of Enoch was never considered canon, man. Okay, here it is in the book of Enoch, First Enoch 71:13 through 14. Again, I have a website that actually goes into it. Okay, it's called "Who is the Son of Man?" in First Enoch 7:14. When you go to it, this is what Enoch says. He says, "In the heavens of heavens, he was greeted by God and 4 archangels." All right, now here's what it says. "And at the head of days came with Michael and Raphael and Gabriel, all right, and Phanuel, and thousands and 10,000 of angels without number. And he came to me and greeted me with his voice and said to me, 'You are the Son of Man, who was born for righteousness.'" Now we know the King of righteousness is Yahweh, man. "And righteousness dwells on you, and the righteousness of the head of days will not forsake you." Okay? Now, he goes into it, but ultimately when you go into it, it's dealing with him as a messianic figure. All right? And Enoch is not the Messiah. Okay? That, amongst many other things that I've found in my research, are enough to prove that these writings are not attributed to Enoch. All right? Now, when you get the book of Jude, it tells you that Enoch prophesies of the coming of the Lord. All right? Because as I said, there are books that are written that we don't have. All right? And here's a website going into it. All right? The books of the War of Lords, the book of Jasher, the Manner of the Kingdom, Acts of Solomon, okay? Chronicles of the Kings of Judah, Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. Okay, and we're going to get all of those writings back. But what the Heavenly Father gave to us in the form of the Bible, the Old, the New Testament, the Apocrypha, which without the Apocrypha, where do you get the understanding of what happened with the Israelites in the Greek captivity? Because you have 4 beasts written about in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. Well, where do you get understanding of the 3rd beast? Huh? The Greeks, the leopard. What happened with the Israelites? Where do we get that history at? It's in the Apocrypha. Okay, amongst various other reasons. Hey, the Messiah celebrated the Feast of Dedication. Right? Where do you get that up? That's in the Maccabees. Okay? When the Lord delivered us from Edom. It literally says that. All right? First Maccabees, or Second Maccabees, chapter 4. The Annals of King David. Okay? And as a matter of fact, when you even get in the scriptures, okay? Even when you go to the book of Revelation, the 10th chapter, and we'll get to him. Just want to make a few points. The scriptures say, do not add to the book, man, but let's see here. Yep. Verse 3, Revelation 10, and he cried with a loud voice and said, all right, as when a lion roared, and when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up the things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. So we know that there's particular things that are not written for us to have, all right now. All right, there's even prophets. The scriptures say they were prophets, okay, that prophesied that have no memorial, no writings, nothing is recorded of them. That's in the book of Sirach, the 44th chapter. So yes, there are writings and things that we don't have. All right, but with Enoch, there's far enough in the Holy Scriptures to give you an understanding of what you need to get and to understand his story, man, because he was beamed up, which is an example of what's coming for the elect if we are obedient and walk with the Most High, man. All right, and can be delivered delivered from the wickedness that's taking place in the earth, man. Okay, but when you add to the book, okay, the scriptures say none shall want her mate. Okay, so you can't create some other way or some outside source, okay, to try and mate with the scriptures to create a super doctrine, man. Trying to be too deep, and that's this guy. So let's go ahead and play him.
What in the cloud year? If you don't do that, I'm going to read this book here in Jubilee.
And he's reading out of the book of Jubilee as well. So meanwhile, you know, these men are putting themselves on a pedestal as the head of this new government. But meanwhile, this is the type of shit that they got going on, man. Reading out all of these various different books, man. And we know what the scriptures say. We'll get it, all right, of what's going to happen unto him that adds unto and takes away. Because you would think you men would be, you know, you believe that the so-called, or the mark of the beast is the chip. Where's your videos on that? Why ain't you talking about that? But you bringing Israel into further confusion, man.
It's going to be brief. Well, try to make it brief. This is the book of Jubilee, chapter 6 and verse 32. It says, "And command thou the children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days, and will constitute a complete year." This is a solar year.
And we didn't go by the solar, all right? We went by the lunar. And see, when you read the book of Enoch, the angel Uriel gave Enoch a calendar, all right, that was not based upon a lunar month, meaning the new moon is day 1 of the month. And we'll show you, according to the Bible, that it does give you a recollection of how to track time, how to find, keep the Passover. Now, we're in an unperfected state. We're just rehearsing the righteous acts. It's not going to be perfect. This man has changed times, all sorts of things. Okay, so we do these things to the best of our ability. And as the scriptures say, judge no man, all right, in a new moon or the eats and, meats and things like that. All right, which are the things associated with the sacrifice and the, and the keeping of the Passover and these particular holy days, right? But okay, we can't go to these outer sources and all of this pseudo shit